lane priority here. Walk into enemy jungles, take Litho Wanderer, fight for neutral objectives as much as they can.
I am definitely noticing nowadays in the meta, the gold lane is getting a lot less early game rotation attention. And teams who do go for that early gold lane gank are considered, even to a certain extent, cheesing here. Obviously, they want to play around EXP lane to get the first turtle, but when you have a hero like Claude, do you think it's a good idea to put more pressure in the gold lane instead?
Well, I mean, even if you do put pressure in the gold lane, right, the Thamos should do okay on his own. But if you are just a regular Thamos player, you understand that you're going to start falling off, right? Yeah. So you want your team to actually push the advantage towards your side while you are still relevant. And I think that he's more than happy to be like, okay, you can try to dive me, you can try to get ahead. I have a BMI to get myself out of there.
And I think Thamos' role as the game kind of advances into the mid to late stage, he's just going to have this berserk button. Press my ultimate, jump into you, press vengeance, pray for the best. Eventually, I'm going to fall, but I need to get something out of it for my team. And in this case, I need to sandbag this Claude, which is not an easy job.
And if the Thamos is very fed, it's not going to be him who's praying in that situation. Right now, first turtle going to be contested, both teams in the area.
Daytona's welcome, following up a target first. It might be first blood going through. Turtle secured by TODAK, and first blood going over to the side of Barracuda. Getting 2 in a row. Actually, objective also secured by them. Another great start for them.
Yeah, really messy fight here from TODAK's side. Not 100% sure what they were trying to go for. At the end of it, at least for Barracuda, Amal was like, I'm not going to let anybody get hit by an implosion. I might as well just take Refelatio with me.
Compared to the previous game where Barracuda was playing more of a front-to-back, this time it is TODAK that wants to be able to maintain how their team fight is formatted in terms of positioning. Whereas Barracuda has a lot of heroes that are quite capable of skirmishing on their own, which is why you could see how Hesu and Grace were just focused on making sure that Gary could never approach the turtle, and they could get that objective for free.
I mean, Amon likes to be a hit, right? When he's the coolest, he's the calmest when he has the lead. And Barras as a hero does supplement that, trying to go for an invade on that orange buff, but Gary secures it just a fraction of a second before he arrives. As Amon want more though, TODAK posturing with 3 members up top. Amon gets that small beetle.
And that's what you want to see coming in from Amal, right? Just be aggressive, start stealing away camps, start sandbagging Gary and slow his farm down as much as you can. Because again, you're going to start falling off eventually. So in the meantime, you might as well put in the hurt in the economic sector for TODAK.
We can see that the gold lead very much leaning towards Barracuda right now. Every single lane has a bit of a goal advantage against their opponent. TODAK, they're still going to be quite okay with this because with a Claude and a Novaria, their team fight is going to be leaning much more towards that late game. So again, the shoe is on the other foot. Barracuda are the team that want to be able to create pressure and try and end the game early.
Cooldowns are going to be very, very important for TODAK. Without big cooldowns, you can't really do much. And unfortunately for Zyme Senpoi, somehow got caught, I believe, by the full AJ combo.
I don't see any flickers being utilized by AJ, which is even better. Fact, right? It looks like he caught him mid-rotation as well. Wait, hold on.
And here it comes for a face stab, the counter implosion. The Appraisal's grab does no damage. Hesu just eats it all up. Final slash, not enough. Grace happy to stay in the battle and play that push and pull. Hesu now needs to run away. Leaps to safety in time. Replacer catches up, and now Zyme Senpoi returns to the fight with that ultimate. Turtle goes over to Amal once more, and Barracuda, they get a retreat.
Being able to trade up for Hesu is still pretty good for TODAK there, especially with Shizo getting most of the gold turret shield up top. Barracuda will be happy with that turtle, but trading in this situation is still not the most ideal, even if AI winning prediction still leaning very much towards the blue side.
66%, 4 minutes into the game. As we start moving in towards the 8-minute mark, I think that's definitely going to still be in favor of Barracuda for the time being, right? Because for Zyme Senpoi, getting damage in consistently against Barracuda, especially damage that is impactful with the Star Shatter, you're probably looking to break AJ's passive as soon as you can. Maybe look to actually chunk trap it down once in a while, but you can see,
Nope, Flicker final slash, coupled with the Astral Echo. Extremely deadly, but the damage insufficient for now. Daytona's welcome as a response. Amal about to split Refacer underneath the turret. The charges away with the Sacred Hammer. What are they going to do about that, Amal? Nothing.
I don't know. I think spinning him into the wall was probably the play instead of spinning him directly
Probably.
backwards. Especially it's a Tigreal, dude.
Like, he was expecting that spinning him into the tower would somehow work out, but yeah, it is a Tigreal in this situation, and I feel like Amal would have been able to get out of that situation if he just decided to disengage instead of going for the Daytona's welcome there, so that's a bit of a mistake.
I feel like there's a bit of miscommunication because AJ did not have the polymorph to follow up. Maybe that was the ideal play, but it just wasn't really relayed to this Nana.
Can't do much about it. It looks like top tier 1 is going to fall into the hands of TODAK in that meantime. I mean, good stuff coming in from TODAK to try and pull it back here, but this is starting to look like a repeat of game 1.
And in this case, TODAK does seem to have a better grasp of control towards this mid-game phase here. Shizo even feeling confident enough to do things like that here. I imagine he's farming very, very well. Barracuda, they do still have the net worth lead, but that's going to start slipping away from them as the scaling starts kicking in more for Shizo and Zyme Senpoi.
This turtle fight might just break the game open. TODAK, a lot more confident to come in for the contest.
Oh?
Final slash actually does miss. That's big, one big ultimate out of the picture. Barracuda feeling a lot more confident now to continue doing the turtle.
Yeah, this Lord Dance is pretty important. His mid lane is going to get shoved out first by TODAK before Barracuda. They can't afford to lose the tier 1.
Comes Reflexia, gets the combo breaker, doesn't even get to use the implosion, spat out back into his team. Perfectly done by Amal, and he secured the turtle for himself. Final slash used again, but this time Barracuda ready to give a response. Finding 2 kills in the process.
Nice punish coming in from the team here. They played very coordinatedly. This is their comfort zone, right? Especially when it's not towards their jungle. When it's on the no man's land, the 50% marker in the river line, Barracuda generally know how the format of the fight needs to go.
Yeah, and with the team composition they have, the amount of crowd control tools they have, it's very easy for them to come out on top in these 5v5 situations, especially if TODAK are the ones jumping the gun. I feel like Reflexia may have gone a little bit too aggressive there to try and catch out Amal before he could retreat the turtle, but he has to remember he is the main catch for TODAK, and if he's gone without using Implosion, they don't have a lot left in the barrel.
I think the ideal way is you have to flicker implosion. You can't Sacred Hammer in. Amal can just gobble you up. Good scouting from Zyme Senpoi. It's gonna break that camp on that top brush.
The sense is good here, but now this is where we're expecting Barracuda to really start walking into their jungle, right? Face checking pretty much everything, especially with Amal. He's able to chunk people out. He is in a very strong position right now.
And Amal is gonna try to disrupt that wave, but TODAK clearing out in time. Shizo did use the Blazing Duet as a means to kind of stabilize that late equilibrium. Barracuda still wants to stay here.
Yeah, I do like that they're doing this. I feel like in the previous game they didn't quite punish the Gary on the Nolan enough. Comparatively this game now, they are making their presence felt. They do feel a lot tankier. They feel a lot more comfortable with the amount of crowd control they have. They just got to make sure they're never really close enough to a tower to get implosion and pushed in. As long as they're able to avoid that condition, TODAK really does not have enough damage yet to try and chase them away.
And that's why you see Shizo kind of rotating fast across the map. He's not going to waste time. If you want to take it tier 2, sure, I'm just going to catch the top wave, run, and pick up mid wave at the same time, and then go back and rinse and repeat.
And I like how Reflexia is taking up as much space on the map as possible. The moment he sees a brush vacant, he is stepping in. And that is actually what allows TODAK to gain extra info on top of just relying on this Novaria. Reflexia actually is the one who starts aggroing the Lord.
Yeah, making sure that they are at least able to buy some time here. Even if TODAK doesn't want to actually take the Lord, if Reflexia is able to pull them towards his side, it makes it difficult for Barracuda to get started here.
Hesu getting pushed back. No implosion just yet, but Zyme Senpoi has already used the Astral Echo. Hesu also popping that ultimate. Now sticking onto Gary. That's going to be a bit hard for the jungler of TODAK. That means no chance to steal this Lord. It's aim out to secure it.
Interesting. They had all the information there, right? They used the Astral Echoes to make sure that they spot out 4 members from mid-brush all the way up till the initial neutral objective. But more importantly so, I feel like TODAK probably could have purposely wasted resources just to kind of buy a little bit of extra time for Claude to actually push open and crack open the tier 2 down on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I actually really thought Reflexia was prepared to flicker Implosion into the Lord Pit, even if it didn't necessarily result in any kills, because if Shizo was able to get bot tier 2 and even threaten the inhibitor, it would have been actually pretty worth it for TODAK overall.
And it's just a worry of expanding these resources, right? Because BRE, they do have the lead, and this Lord is not going to make it any easy for them. Thankfully, it's just Lord number 1. You don't have that crazy charge that breaks turrets yet. But with the Lord coming in on the bottom lane, BRE, they not only will get the top tier 2, but they also finally get to try and crack this mid tier 1.
Ooh, Gideon, I want to ask you, look at Grace's item builds, right? Those are all mid-tier items.
Yeah, it looks like he hasn't really committed to anything just yet, right? I mean, he's only got a majority components. Wait,
Well,
Final
final
Slash.
slash. Very much used. Gary, though, he's going to get go.
Oh!
He's going to flicker implosion only onto one, though, but is it the target that you're looking for? Apparently, it's just Grace, and that's not good enough. Momo finds the backline, gets pulled back by Amao. And welcome to the belly of the beast, Barracuda with another 2.
Ooh, really good ideas there from the side of both Barracuda and as well as TODAK side. Momo saw an interesting angle there. I just think that Amao, he played it. One button, outplay. Daytona's welcome is like, try and do that again, Revelation. Go for the implosion. Try it.
I mean, he did do it, but he got only Grace, which is not the guy you want, unfortunately.
Yeah, and they weren't even able to kill off Grace in that situation as well. That was probably the best catch they could have gotten. And still, Barracuda expanding their net worth lead now. TODAK in a very difficult situation. It's team fights like that that did make me doubt a little bit the choice to go for that final pick on Tigreal. It's very difficult to actually catch out Barracuda's lineup, even if they do like to group together.
I mean, even if they do want to go for the catch, like Trap and AJ are not going to reveal themselves and they're not going to walk up like that, especially when you're that visible as well. So that's one thing to consider. But to answer your question from earlier, Grace, considering that he has a bunch of half components already built, he's trying to be cost efficient with his items overall, right? Because the major damage dealers, there's just too many items that you need to get. You might as well start spreading it out. First, he focused on getting armor. Now he's going in for that magic resist because he can only tank. He can't really tank that many shots from Zion Senpai. Speaking of which, Zion Senpai with these Astral Shatters are really starting to add up. Like, it's really starting to scale to a point where it could potentially break open AJ's Nana's passive pretty early on.
We're waiting for the glowing one, which he hasn't purchased yet, but that glowing one could be the difference maker, right? To start shredding down these tanks to really threaten the squishies.
Yeah, the late game poke potential from Novaria is very scary. Again, especially against a lineup like Barracuda, you would think that, oh, they have Barats, they have Tamas, taking poke damage shouldn't matter to them too much. But once Zion Senpai gets full up on items, even a single Star Shatter is going to hurt quite a bit.
Good ping with the Astral Echo. That's 4. Unfortunately, Gary's going to be sped up, finished off with the help of the Lord. Not even close. 4-man final slash, but no follow while Momo runs away, but gets just bursted down by this carry. Reflexia follows him to the grave. Barracuda have taken control of this game.
Bad timing coming in from TODAK. The idea was there, but everybody came in half a second late. The implosion was too late, and unfortunately for Gary, he is just caught out of position, and Shizu already took his BMI backwards after the fight even began. So really, it's just uncoordinated.
Zyme, you pinged out the entire team of Barracuda, but can you keep this game within your control? AJ certainly has to run away thanks to the Astral Spear, so Zyme Senpai alongside Shizu keeps this base alive. But Barracuda, now they're going to reset. Lord has just spawned bot.
How long will they be able to keep alive? Barracuda makes the smart choice this time. Not going to stay and try to push their advantage. They're going to regroup, heal back up, and make sure they have all their resources ready for the actual fight with the Lord here. A 10k net worth lead. Will TODAK be able to overcome this challenge in order to get that clean sweep? Or will Barracuda show us what they're truly capable of?
They have to take their time here. This inhibitor is pretty much going to be lost on that next wave, but so far, Barracuda really just taking their time. They don't mind absorbing a couple of ults here. They want to be able to get the resources out of TODAK's side before really committing to an all-in, but that's only if and only if TODAK walk out of position.
Very, very good attempt from Momo. Final Slash is back up. Pretty low cooldown at the late stage of the game, and Zyme Senpai, like we established earlier, he's going to continue to hurt, and that final slash actually misses. The Daytona's welcome, immune to crowd control. He's going to get the bubble out, but Amao, Immortality is in place for Flaysta, gets the implosion, but ends up going down anyways. Gary can't get the slam damage in. The Gary love Amao, but Barracuda is about to strike, and TODAK doesn't seem that they have much left in the tank. Zyme Senpai this time needs to do a lot more. Shizu with the blazing duet, immediately stop. Momo with the final slash, goes down. Barracuda wants the game tree. The Ocean Derby is not done just yet. Barracuda on the crystal, but TODAK wants to stop them. Shizu and Zyme again! The savior of the swordfishes to keep that base alive.
Zyme, he's got to top himself up. The next wave is coming up, and he needs to kill either AJ
so
or
low.
He's gonna try and end it. Game tree upon us. This Ocean Derby continues.
Woo! Oh, that final